Continuing in 6.5, the next part is looking at still solving what's considered a radical equation, but instead of written with radicals, you're going to see them written with fractional exponents. So I'm going to take you through 6 examples of different ones that are really similar to Delta Math. A couple of them I actually took directly from Delta Math, of how you solve these, kind of the process, so you get to see all of this happen. And you will need a calculator a little bit just for your arithmetic. So first one, so the goal again to solve for x, you want to isolate the piece that has the, in this case, the the fractional power. So we're going to start by adding 8 to both sides. So we get 8x to the 6/5 equals 5,832. Divide both sides by 8. So you get x to the 6/5 equals, here's where I am going to grab a calculator. It's going to take a second to load up here. I'll shrink this down. Okay, so we are taking this over. 5,832 divided by 8. So we get 729. So x to the 6/5 equals 729. And here's where we go and work with the power. So to get rid of a 6/5 power, you're going to use the reciprocal power on both sides. So you're going to take both sides, reciprocal means flip the fraction, to the 5/6 power. So you're going to take this side to the 5/6 power. Now on your calculator, you're going to type in 729. You're going to hit the little caret button that gives you an exponent, and then you're just going to type in 5/6 power. Just make sure you hit that caret button. I've had students that have accidentally multiplied instead of done the power. So my answer is 243. And again, we can check my work by taking that 243 and putting it back into the original equation where x is. The next ones have some smaller numbers. So the next one, we need to isolate the entire piece that has the fraction power. So we're going to divide by 3. So we get x plus 1 to the 2/3 equals 4. Then we're going to take the entire both sides to the reciprocal power. So the reciprocal power would be the 3/2 power. Again, having a calculator to help you with some of the exponent work is nice. So you're going to do 4, hit the exponent button, 3/2 power, and you get 8. So x plus 1 equals 8. On this side, the 2/3 power and the 3/2 power will cancel. That's why you're just left with x plus 1. And then subtract 1. So you get an answer of 7. And again, plugging that back into the original would be a way to check your work. So the next one has a radical and a power. When you have something like this, the first thing you want to do is rewrite that all to a fractional exponent. So it's currently to the 3rd power and the 5th root. So that's the 3/5 power. So if you have something like that, just like in previous sections, if you rewrite it with fractional exponents, you're able to do more with it. So now we're going to subtract 1. So we have 3 times x plus 1 to the 3/5 equals 24. Then we're going to divide by 3. Divide by 3. So we get x plus 1 to the 3/5 equals 8. Now you're going to take both sides to the reciprocal power. So the reciprocal power will be 5/3. Again, grab a calculator. We need to do 8 to the 5/3 power, which is 32. So we get x plus 1 equals 32. Subtract 1. Our final answer is 31. And again, you can check that by putting a 31 back in for x. Last one on this slide, we're going to add 4 to both sides. So we have 2 times x plus 1 to the 3/2 equals 54. We're going to divide both sides by 2. So x plus 1 to the 3/2 equals 27. We're going to take both sides to the reciprocal power, so to the 2/3 power. Again, calculator's nice to have close by, so 27 to the 2/3 power is 9. So we get x plus 1 equals 9. Subtract 1, you get x equals 8. I've got 2 more on the next slide that are similar to some of the Delta Math ones. So the next one, actually this one's pretty similar to ones we just did as well. So we're going to add 2. So we get x plus 1 to the 3/2 equals 27. Take both sides to the 2/3 power. I think we actually just did a 2/3 power one. Is that already in my calculator? Yep. 27 to the 2/3 power is 9. Oh, this might be the exact same question. Is this the same question? Oh, not the same question, but we do get the same answer. They're so similar. So we end up with x equals 8 for that one, just like the last one. And again, you can check your work by putting 8 in. Last question for this video, we are going to isolate by adding 8. So we'll add 8 to both sides. So 5 times x minus 4 to the 1/3 power equals 50. Divide both sides by 5. That will isolate the part that has the fraction exponent. So x minus 4 to the 1/3 equals 10. I want to show you one like this that has a 1/3 power. The reciprocal power is just going to be the third power. So you're going to take 10 to the third power, which you may need a calculator for. So 10 to the third power is 1,000. And then finally, to solve for x, you're going to add 4. So your answer is 1004. And we can plug that number right there to check our work if we need to. So those are how we solve radical equations that don't really look like radical equations. They're more rational exponent equations. You're going to isolate. You're going to use the reciprocal power to get rid of the current power, and then you're going to solve for x.